I am here at Final Features in Arcadia, Indiana with Jake Nix, the owner, and we are going to learn more about him and his business. I wanted to get into meeting you and understanding a little bit more about Final Features and your business. So the first question that I always ask, and I'm always so excited about asking, is why did you take this leap of faith and start this company?
I think it kind of started a long time ago when I was younger, mowing lawns, shoveling driveways. Very independent. My parents kind of, if I wanted something, you had to earn it. And a lot of that way was just like earning money and how was that. And I always enjoyed getting to know people, doing work for them, and then the reward of doing the work. Not really money based, but just feeling that satisfactory. So that started at a young age. I went and worked for a fantastic company for 7-ish years, almost 8.
Doing landscaping?
Yep, landscaping, running their hardscape division, developing, bringing in different things like lighting. We tried Christmas lights for a while. We did a couple of structures and things like that. And I always had that burning passion. So while I was there, I was trying to start a little side business or here and there. And I kept climbing the ladder, and there was just something inside that didn't feel fulfilled. They took very good care of me, and I love them to death still to this day. But there's something was missing, and then the stress was just overwhelming. Working 90 to 120 hours a week. Wow. Not ever put on me, but more voluntarily, like just trying to really push forward. And one day I just couldn't take it anymore, and I just had to leave. And then a good client of mine from the past said, "Hey, can you build me a deck?" And I was a framer a long time ago.
Sure.
And I said, "Yeah, I can build you a deck." And then I fell in love with it. I found that passion again, and we just started doing structures and decks and pergolas, and we've got pool houses going now and pavilions, and it's been kind of awesome because I get to work with my friends and also get to get that fulfillment.
Yeah. What is the main business that you strive to get? If a listener were out there and said, "Hey, I need this done," I wonder if they do that.
For us, I think our niche is our decks and pergolas, right? We like to blend those two together. Really, for me, it's getting to meet a client that's looking at an outdoor living project and helping facilitate those problems or solving those problems. So that we usually get drawn in and, "Hey, I want a deck," and then we kind of start to look at it, and I take my past a little bit and kind of start playing with a few things and say, "Oh, what if we did this here or there?"
Kind of have it come to life?
Yeah, kind of have it come to life. Help get that project off the ground.
Sure.
Do what you do best.
Yeah.
And then so we'll bring in other people and help facilitate that project and kind of get them through. But the big one for me is got to be decks and pergolas. Framing, right? So framing in general, I think it kind of goes hand in hand, right? There's a bunch of people that can build decks and pergolas. I think that being able to offer those different style of structures, because a lot of times people, I want something over my head, but I don't know if I want it to be a pergola where I can get rained on, or I don't know if I want it to be a shingled roof, so having to kind of work in that realm, you kind of develop that framing aspect. But then a lot of times, somebody says, "Hey, I've got this pool I want planned. I know the pool company, but I don't have the hardscape or landscape plan, and I know I want this place where I can hang out, dry off, watch TV, watch sports games." So that's kind of where we come in and try and help develop that process and get involved with the other contractors. We bring in other people. So it's kind of developing into that small construction company.
Yeah. So you're kind of a one-stop shop for the project, and you can facilitate different subs within the job. Because I think that's what homeowners, a lot of times it's like, well, if I have to hire somebody to frame it, and I have to hire somebody to do my electrical, and I have to hire somebody to do my plumbing, and I have to hire somebody to do my concrete or whatever, it's like that's 5 different contractors.
It's 5 different contractors.
And they want to come to somebody like you that says, you might be using somebody else, but I want to write you a final check and have it taken care of.
Yeah, and one of the ways we do that too to make it cohesive to the client, which I think is unique to us, is we have a select group of contractors in all these different categories that we've worked with, that we've built relationships with, people we trust. So we'll help get their estimates, we'll get them out, they'll see it on our proposal. But realistically, when I sign that contract, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll actually get those guys, those sales reps, and I'll bring them in, and they'll sign their contracts too, or they'll get to meet those contractors. And the big one for me is I'm not here to make money on every contractor. So that's a huge one for me, is the reason you're signing their contract is we're going to help manage that contractor. We're going to make sure that what you've asked us to provide is provided, but you get to work with them and there's no markup in between.
Yep.
I don't want to be greedy in that sense. I want to make sure that the client gets the project that they want.
I think that kind of segues into my question number 2, and that's what struggles do you have as a small business owner, or maybe what's the biggest surprise from when you said, I'm going to start this thing, to now I'm running it? This is probably the biggest surprise or obstacle that I have.
Probably internally, really, like me internally. We've grown exponentially due to relationships. I've been heavily blessed with personnel. I had a lot of good friends, and when I came in, I'm not happy where I'm at, and I said, let's go start this thing together. So we kind of started out with a really good crew of 3 people. So it's me and 3 people. This year, we're expanding that. We added 2 more people, and I got, again, very fortunate that they kind of fell into my lap. I'm excited to see how we develop them and grow that way. So that one hasn't been a terrible struggle. But internally is, am I making the right decisions? Am I doing the right thing? Marketing, right? Like that's a huge one. Trying to figure out, how do I grow the business? Do I grow it too quick? Do I grow it too slow? That's been really my biggest struggle, is what's the right process or step to move forward without going crazy. You don't want to grow too big too quick, but you don't want to stay stagnant for too long either. So that one's been really my biggest struggle. Is
there any tips or any advice, or just maybe words of encouragement that you would give to another business owner out there or an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. The big thing is I think there's 2 types of people in this world. There's people that are meant to lead, and there's people that are meant to follow. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
But if you have a passion and a deep burning inside, the biggest or the scariest part is taking that leap of faith and knowing that if you stick to it, you work hard every day, you know, you're going to lose sleepless nights. You're not going to make not every decision's correct. But you give your time and your effort, there's nothing that can stop you. So that's a big one, is just believe in yourself and know that you can make it.
It's really important to just continue to remember your why, stay focused on that, and just don't give up. You know, just keep fighting the battle every single day. Those are the toughest years typically, until you get that clientele, the reputation, things like that built up. But I know you've done an excellent job with that, just from what I've seen from your company and heard about your companies. During this process, you know, has God had any role in your life, whether it's your personal life? I think you're married, is that correct? You know, in your marriage, in your family, in your business, or in your personal success?
Huge.
Yeah?
Huge.
Tell me about it.
Grew up in church.
Okay.
Had a weird falling out as a kid. Didn't really like the way the church was. Never lost faith, but definitely lost my faith, if that makes sense. And I had a really good friend and mentor that when I was doing this, I was really struggling with, you know, the way I left, some of the things, the reactions that were happening. And he said, hey, you just need to put your hands together and pray. And I've been extremely blessed and praying every day and doing things and getting reacclimated back into church. We started going to church more, my kids. I can't do it without him. I tell a lot of people that. There are days when it's hard, and it's I don't know what to do, or something's not happening quite right, and you just kind of put your hands up, like, hey, is this right for me? Hey, before I let the leash off, you need to get prepared. So yes, very, very. I mean, he's been my savior essentially. I mean, I wouldn't have done it without him.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful story. I think the real thing is we're not intended to do it on our own. I don't know what I would personally do if I couldn't lean back on him and say, God, here's where I am. What can I learn from this? How can you help me become better, and a better boss, a better father, all those types of things? Because of faith, I've been able to give my family more time. And now I actually am putting them first. I wouldn't be where I am today without those.
and I think they truly were given to me by Jesus. It's definitely been something.
That's really awesome, man. Well, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you having me in today. Once again, I'm extremely proud from one small business owner to another. That's the whole purpose of the channel to begin with, is to really highlight small businesses that are out here grinding every day and doing their thing, and they're doing it by faith, they're doing it by leadership, and just running really honest, good companies. So I can't tell you
Absolutely.
thank you
Thank you
enough,
so much.
and I really appreciate the opportunity to come out. So if you are in the Arcadia, Cicero, northern Indianapolis area, and you are looking for a pergola, a deck, any type of stuff like that, pool house, make sure you hit these guys up. I'll put their contact information as well, and obviously it's not hard to see what their name is, Final Features. So thanks for tuning in.